All right. Welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to another video today. Today we're going to get into a variety of topics, but this first topic we're going to get into it and talk about the Tesla Model 3. And I'm going to try and make the ultimate Tesla Model 3 buying guide as of right now. Go through all the kind of the numbers of it and the prices, how I would actually purchase it, and of course a couple other things to be aware about, and including where to find discounted inventory, because still to this day I still talk to people that join the Patreon or schedule calls or even comment on the videos that they have no idea how to find discounted inventory or even when is the best time to buy a Model 3. So we're gonna get into that, plus a variety of topics. But before we get into that, let's roll that intro real quick. All right, so thanks for watching another stream. Thanks for watching another video. My name is Dennis, and I love talking about Tesla hacking, as I like to call it, but basically just getting the best deal on Tesla at the best financing rate. So definitely hit that subscribe if you're interested. And today's video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link down below in the description, down below in the description, where you can support the channel and get access to the ultimate Tesla buying guide out there with all the best interest rates for financing your Tesla. So definitely check out Patreon link down below in the description. And shout out to our latest Patreon members. We've got Anthony, Pedro. Thank you for joining. If you want to check it out, Patreon link down below in the description. But let us take a look at this. So this is where I got motivated by this, because I saw this post on Reddit earlier today, and it basically talks about how this person, they are looking to buy their first electric vehicle, and they're trying to decide between a brand new 2023 rear-wheel drive Model 3 versus a used 2022 Model 3 Performance. And so going through this, a lot of this makes sense. I probably went through this same exact process, and a lot of you are probably going through this same exact process as well. And you can see the TLDR is they've isolated down to a Model 3 rear-wheel drive at 43,830, a Model 2022 Model 3 Performance at 44,800, that's used, and then another used one at a 2021 Model Y Performance at 46,500. But of course, these prices are not the discounted prices, and on top of that, there's discounted prices at every single level, which of course I'll show you at the end of this. And of course, there's no financing talked in this, but of course that's a little bit of a harder topic to jump into and to figure it out, because all of these vehicles, if you don't know, all Model 3s qualify for the $7,500 federal tax credit. And so all these prices can be adjusted or be priced in a little bit differently. But let's go through first really quickly on how I would, if I had to buy another Model 3 right now, what options would I actually go through? And then we'll show you the discounts that you can actually get on top of that. But the first thing is you've got to use a Tesla referral. If you don't know where one is, there's one down below in the description that you can use, because if you use a Tesla referral, if you click open the link first and get the referral code attached, you can get 1,500 Tesla loot box credits, which then translates to about 500 supercharger miles. So first you got to do is click the link just like the one down below in the description first, and then go to the Tesla website. And so the first thing, we've got the Model 3 rear-wheel drive with a 272 mile range. We've got the Model 3 long range that is just came back at 333 mile range. And of course, if you want to go balls to the walls, you can get the Model 3 Performance at a 350 mile range and the 0 to 60 of 3.1 seconds. But the trick here is the Model 3 long range at 0 to 60 in 4.2 seconds is actually really, really fast already. Even the Model 3 standard range, the rear-wheel drive at 0 to 60 in 5.8 seconds, that's pretty fast. And really the difference is electric vehicles, because they have this instant acceleration, because it's electric, the 0 to 20 miles per hour, the 0 to 30 miles per hour is all relatively the same. And so it's going to feel like a fast car no matter what. But I get it. Like if you have range anxiety because it's your first electric vehicle, you'll probably want to get a vehicle with a higher range. But if I were to do it again, I would probably go with a Model 3 standard range, because it's got pretty big discounts right now, or even the Model 3 Performance, because it also has pretty big discounts right right now. But jumping to it, let's say I went with the Model 3 standard range. In terms of color, I would probably just go with the cheapest color and maybe wrap it at a later date, because even if you go with black, it's $1,500, and Model 3 wraps are pretty much $2,000 across the board. If anything, I would spend $1,000 maximum on paint. But also where I'll show you where you can find discounted Tesla vehicles, that's where if a certain vehicle popped up with a even more discount, I would just pick whatever color that has a better discount. In terms of the rims, I would definitely not go for these 19-inch rims. I want rotatability, and I'm 100% confirmed that the 18-inch is a square setup, so you can rotate all the different tires front to back, left and right, so that you can get extra tread. The 19-inch rims might have that capability as well, but I'd rather just get the 18-inch rims because it's a cheaper tire and this is going to be a daily driver. Now, interior, this is where it gets a little bit on both sides. You know, I've had 4 Teslas so far right now, the Model 3, the Model Y, S, and the X, and every single Tesla has been black interior. I've wanted white interior, but unfortunately, at the end of the day, I gravitate to wherever the deal is, and so the black one has always been the best deal. But one day I'll get the white interior, especially because it's only $1,000. And then going to enhance autopilot, full self-driving, all this stuff, I skip over both of these features because if you really want these features, there actually is a subscription. It's $100 to $200 a month for enhanced autopilot at $100 a month, and then full self-driving at $200 a month. So I would go ahead and skip both of those features because it's not necessarily needed, and I'd rather you save your money, because spending $15,000 on full self-driving when the vehicle is $42,000 just doesn't make a lot of sense at the end of the day. But before we get to payment, before you give Tesla your $250, this is where you actually go to waitingfortesla.com first, because that's where you're going to see all the different inventory that's out there. That's where you're going to see all the discounts on certain vehicles. And this person who posted this thread about these decisions between a brand new 2023 rear-wheel drive and a discounted used Model 3 Performance probably did not realize that you can actually get discounts on certain vehicles out there by just going to simply waitingfortesla.com. This is a third-party aggregator site. You can see all the different inventory that's out there, and they would have probably noticed that a long range at a used price is just a little bit more than their standard range pricing of $44,000. And if you want to go even crazier, you can put in the performance variant, and that's when the discounts get even more heavy. You can see Model 3 performances across the board anywhere from $3,000 to $6,000 discounted off the price of the vehicle. And of course, after you place the deposit, after you've clicked the referral code first open, then you basically have it linked up so that it shows a green check mark. Of course, that's when you get into financing, which financing gets into a whole nother ballgame of different things. You can go with Tesla financing. I would recommend Tesla financing if you're a first-time buyer, you have no auto loan history, or you've never financed a vehicle, then probably Tesla financing is your best bet, because it is 5.69% on a higher rate, but it's probably going to be the easiest way to finance a vehicle. But if you want a lower monthly payment, that's where financing partners like Tenet come into play. Thank you to Tenet for sponsoring this video and a bunch of videos this month. But Tenet, down below in the description, allows you to get a lower monthly payment by deferring a portion of the loan all the way to the end, maybe even that $7,500 federal tax credit. They do this because they work with credit unions and banks and are an approved Tesla financing partner. And so this results in a lower monthly payment. So definitely check out Tenet down below in the description. And thank you to Tenet for sponsoring this video and a bunch of other videos this month. But that's where you can use Tenet if you're looking for a monthly payment. It could make sense if you're a business owner wanting more cash flow or just want more cash flow month in and month end. But that's where you could use Tenet, and it could make some sense in your situation. But after you place the delivery, after you place the deposit, Tesla's going to reach out to you and get pretty aggressive, especially because right now it is June. It is the last month of the quarter, so they're going to try and make you take delivery ASAP. But at this point, you just have to choose one of these options, whether it's Tesla loan, lease, or cash. You can always switch your option before delivery, and that's where you can use credit unions, Tenet, or any other outside financing partner, as long as you let Tesla know you're using outside financing so that they can go ahead and process the paperwork for you. But of course, there's credit unions all over the place. We've talked about credit credit unions in the past. So definitely check that out if you're interested in going down that route. And even check out our Patreon link down below in the description, where you can get access to the full credit union list with all the different interest rates lower than Tesla financing. So definitely check it out. Patreon link down below in the description. But that's pretty much the TLDR. If you want more details on the $7,500 federal tax credit and how it actually works, we've made plenty of explain videos on the channel as well. But basically the rule of thumb, or the TLDR on that, is you basically have to make above $70,000 to $75,000 as a W-2 income earner and less than $150,000 W-2 income. But of course, do your research, talk to a CPA, and so that you can figure out what is your exact amount that you will paying on tax liability and how much you'll be getting back after buying an electric vehicle. Because if you make less than $70,000, it's a diminishing value return for these federal tax credit. But definitely some pretty interesting stuff. Let me know what your thoughts on it. Let me know what you're thinking. Are you buying a Model 3? Are you trying to get